Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another stream here by myself, Noda Hero. Today, we are going to be running through a life point beta deck. I believe that's what you call the skill. Essentially, it is the one that at the cost of one card in our starting hand, we start with 5,500 life, which is just enough to get Cyber-stein up and running. For the most part, the build's pretty similar. The key difference is that instead of running any anti-magic arrows, I am actually running Into the Void. I do only have 2 in the deck right now because I don't have a third. It really just pushes the consistency of the deck up another notch. Functionally speaking, instead of having a 20-card deck, it lets me right now run at a 7 or an 18-card deck. Once I get that third one, it would put me at a 17-card deck, which, when all you're looking for is one specific card, that makes a huge difference mathematically. So, alright, round 1, we're up against Paradox Brothers. Given that there is a noticeable pause, I would say dollars to cents. Oh, that was not restart. I was not paying enough attention. He just opens up with Dauntless and goes and, oh god. Okay, so basically the name of the game is don't let him get Legendary Ocean, and we should be okay. So to achieve this, we're just going to go ahead and say, screw you, you're going home. Go ahead and Sanctity here to just dig through the deck for literally no card loss. We will go ahead and do this. Digging out another 2 cards from the deck. And right now, we have 12 cards, 3 of which are Cyber-stein. And we're going to draw 2, so we're going to draw a 6th of our deck, and just keep on going. 3 and 10, so 33% chance, or 30% chance. Here, we are just going to probably go for this. I don't know if mathematically it's right to go for this. If we take 500 damage, we fall behind, and we can't kill them, so I think we're just going to go ahead and stick with that line. I can see the argument being that I should have waited one turn and hoped he couldn't hit me for 500, but if he hits me for 500, I've already functionally lost anyway. I will say, I got horrendously unlucky here to have drawn through that many cards and not hit one. I don't think it's right to get anything here other than either Arcana, or not Arcana Night Joker, or Blue Eyes Ultimate. Ojama King is the worst option to get here, really, because whatever that thing is, if it's got 1 attack or more, he's going to kill Ojama King, and we're basically dead. So at least with these 2, we've got some oomph behind them, and we can also, if we go with Arcana, protect it a little bit. So we're going to go with him. Gonna smash in here. There's the argument that I should attack with Cyber-stein because he played that card face down in defense position. I'm wondering if that card's not going to be Yomi Ship or Exploder Drinking, something of that nature. So at least if it is one of those, we're getting in for 7. Oh, well then. Out of all the cards I expected that to be, Seer Karibo was not among them. Like, I literally don't know why he played that card instead of keeping it in his hand. So, you know, we almost ran out of gas, and we kind of did, but thankfully, like in those great horror movies I love so much, the car might have been sputtering for a minute, but when it counted, that car kicked it up, and we tore out of there, so alright. Game 2. What do we got? Alright, so Game 2 brings us up against Brave Sun. Brave Sun is running Yami Yugi, so things to be considering could be like a Destiny draw deck, Yami thing. In this case, I'm going to assume it's probably Destiny draw. So, looking at this opening hand, we're sitting pretty good. We've got Cyber-stein, we've got Tribute to the Doomed, and we've got Into the Void. So, we can basically play and protect Ojama King in the ideal scenario. We play Cyber-stein, we pay 5,000, or, I'm sorry, ignore that. We do Into the Void, we draw a card, we basically Tribute to the Doom whatever monster he plays here. We Cyber-stein, getting out Ojama King. Ojama King locks up his 3 spots, and we're probably sitting good. Alright, so go ahead and do this. The thing to remember is that we do discard our hand at the end of all of this, so we are going to be playing these cards all set so that we don't lose them. Alright, so go ahead and lock these up. And really, the thing that we are worried about right now is the potential for him to have and or hit a lava golem before we kill him. So that is the thing that we're basically racing right now. He's got 16 cards, so the odds of him hitting it naturally aren't very good. But since we don't know what his skill is, I'm going to assume worst case scenario it is Destiny Draw, which means once we get him down to, basically 2,000, we either win or we lose. There's no in between. It's a question of, does he have the intelligence and the lava golem to win? One thing that we do need to consider, apparently he doesn't have lava golem in his deck. Alright. So, we're sitting good. We've got another win under our belts with this beast. Let's see if we can go for the perfect 5-0. Perfect 5-0. Haven't gotten to do one of those in a while. Haven't done any of those on stream yet, so who knows? Rex is the original person I actually saw using this variant of deck, so it's entirely possible we're playing the mirror match, and if we are, the fact that we're on the draw gives me such a huge advantage. He's got Dinosaur Kingdom for his skill of choice. So basically, if he's got a dino, the Ojama King is not going to be a realistic option, so we'd need to get Tribute to the Doomed. Okay, so he's got a threat, he's got a lot of back row going on. How best do we maneuver through this? So, alright, we basically need to hit Tribute to the Doomed so that we can kill that and lock up his back row. Otherwise, any threat he plays is basically going to be lethal because they're all more than big enough to get over Cyber-stein and hit me for 500. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and again do the other Into the Void. I like the odds of us hitting our Tribute to the Doomed. It's looking pretty solid. Hey! Ask and you shall receive. Remember, we did play the Into the Void, so we want to play these cards face down if we can. I don't think there's any value in playing Reload to shuffle in the Thunder Dragon, as opposed to just having the Thunder Dragon discarded. Now, however, that is not the case. Now we have every incentive to try and keep going, even though I'm an idiot and should have waited one turn to do that. I'm not even sure how this actually works because we have to discard Into the Void anyway. So maybe we shouldn't have been digging on the off chance we hit one of our other Cyber-steins. Adhesion Trap Hole is definitely a bane of this deck, unfortunately, so something to be aware of if you do decide to play this in any events. Ooh. I mean, it's not that bad for us, honestly. Unfortunately, him hitting us for 1900, that's bad for us. There is functionally no way we win. But if he would have missed a creature there, we would have been sitting pretty good. Like, we would have literally won, I think, had he not hit a monster there, so. Feeling pretty decent about this list overall, honestly. This deck would be great for things like the KC Cup, where you just care about number of games won, as opposed to, like, the win percentage. Like, the deck has a over 50% win rate, so you're going to be getting more points per hour than someone that's playing a slower, more methodical deck, even if their win rate is higher. So this is something I would definitely keep in mind for those weekend rushes like the KC Cup. I don't know if there's any other events like that on Duel Links, but this is definitely a deck I'm going to keep in the back of my mind for the next KC Cup style event we've got. Especially because this deck is so much more mindless than a lot of the other decks I tend to enjoy playing, that I won't be suffering from the mental fatigue, really. And mental fatigue over the course of, 3 days of non-stop gaming does become a real thing if you've ever played in an actual, like, longer event, like potentially a Magic the Gathering Grand Prix, or the equivalent for Yu-Gi-Oh! Not really sure what the name of those events are for Yu-Gi-Oh! But, like your regionals, nationals, qualifiers, whatever those things are called. Looking pretty good already. We've got Cyber-stein in the opener, so the fact that we don't see middle-aged mechs makes me think he's probably on some type of a beatdown skill deck, which then in turn leads me to think probably zombies. What in the world we got going on here? So, Mecha Phantom Beast Harland. Once per turn, when the monster you control is tributed to activate a card or effect other than this card's, special summon. What? Come on. Special summon 1 Mecha Phantom Beast token. Level 3, 0 attack, 0 defense. This card's level is increased by the total level of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, you contribute 1 token to special summon 1 Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your hand. Okay, so basically we just gotta not let him get any tokens. Which, with what this deck is up to, that is A-okay. We can manage that pretty well, I think. Alright, so we definitely want to set him up. So now there's the option of doing Reload or Cards of Sanctity. Reload is the better option, because you're getting 3 cards in, whereas Cards of Sanctity is only getting you 2 in and you're losing everything. So in this scenario, Reload would only be getting you 2 cards in, but you're also shuffling 2 in, so you're actually losing value there. So this time I am going to go ahead and do Cards of Sanctity here, I believe. Pretty sure that's the better line. Oh shit, never mind, I'm an idiot. Probably just screwed the pooch on this one. I need to actually get used to playing with Cards of Sanctity. If you haven't figured it out yet, I've never actually played, well, not never. I haven't played this TCG in probably 10 years, I'm thinking, maybe more. I played like 1 or 2 events when friends just handed me decks, but that was only like Demise King of Oblivion decks, or like a troll deck I designed based around not being able to be attacked. So clearly this deck needs a better pilot than what I'm currently doing. I'm going to go ahead and just concede this once I get the chance, because we aren't winning, so there's no reason to hang out here. dun, 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 dun. So, as you can see, the deck definitely has potential to go off very, very consistently turn 1. You just need to think through your lines and not be a complete dumbass like I just was. Alright, so... yeah, we are 2-2 with one loss being like a legitimate, like, we actually lost, the other one being a I done derped hard and we might have won. So I'm going to call that an actual 2-1 record right now moving forward, because I don't want to test my play skill for the deck. I want to test how good the deck itself is. Alright. So we're on the draw, which is not ideal with this deck, as you've probably deduced, if I haven't already said that. Ojama King is definitely the default best play you can do turn 1. So being on the play is like the stone cold nuts. Here, it's pretty easy what we want to do. We want to go ahead and Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, get 2 copies out of the deck, so the deck is functionally, 18 cards when you're playing with this guy in the deck, which is very convenient for something like this. We want to go ahead and reload. Yes, we're shuffling 4 cards in and we're getting 4 cards, but that is a much better deal than losing all of these cards just to dig 2 cards deeper. We are very likely to still hit a Cards of Sanctity as demonstrated here. Go ahead into the Void, so the deck now went from functionally starting at 18 to functionally starting at 18 to 17. We're going to go ahead and kill this guy right off the bat. Then we're going to Cards of Sanctity here and hope to get either another Cards of Sanctity or ideally to get Cyber-stein. That did not happen. We definitely hit completely dead. So now we are in the cross your fingers and hope that your opponent doesn't have a monster phase of the game. And that hope failed. So we are dead skis. We are 100% dead skis. I do like the fact that this deck does play through your games very quickly. Like, you know if you win or lost instantly. There's no sitting around waiting, wondering. That's got its pros and cons to it, obviously. If you just want to grind out games, this is the kind of deck you want. You can play so many games per hour compared to any other game played. In a lot of ways, I'm kind of surprised that Decay didn't play this for the KC Cup, given that he had like 130,000 points at the end of it. I can't imagine playing enough games with anything other than this to get that high in points. I mean, the number of games you would have to play, even if you had a 75% win rate, means you're getting 750 points mathematically per game. 130,000 divided by 750 means, ballparking, you're playing like 180 games, give or take. And professional card players of TCGs generally average at best a 65% win rate. So, yeah, the odds aren't good, and that's also accounting for when you have like sideboard, which is actually where pros make the majority of their percentages up compared to other players. And with this game not having one, if you're having a 65% win rate, you're playing one hell of a hot streak, or a deck kind of like this where there's just nothing your opponents can naturally do. So, alright, we've got the Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon and Into the Void. That's basically the ideal opener. The only way this really would have been better is if we had had, like, just a reload and the other Into the Void there. Like, that would have been the stone cold perfect. the deck would have functionally been 16 cards in that scenario. And if we're at 16 cards and we're drawing 4, I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to combo in that scenario. Same logic as before. We're going to reload here, even though we're shuffling 4 in to get 4. It's functionally like a mulligan if you ever played other TCGs. Go ahead, thin the deck out again. Remember, we did use Into the Void, so this hand is going to be gone momentarily anyway. So, we're going to tribute away that guy, even though it could be him or Cyber-stein. And at this point, we're really just playing the, do you have the trap hole? If you got the trap hole, we're in trouble. If you don't got the trap hole, the game's over. No one really plays Tribute to the Doom besides this deck, so I've realized now that if this guy shows up, it's trap hole or bust, and clearly this guy busted. Disclosure, there is potential that I should have taken Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon there, but if he has something like an enemy controller, Windstorm, whatever, we could be in trouble. Less so if it's less so if it's Windstorm or Judgment of Anubis, because that's putting Cyber-stein into defense mode. But enemy controller putting Blue Eyes into defense, and then him just having any creature would wreck me. So I will play the slower, more methodical win, rather than potentially just handing my opponent a free game. So that brings us to 3-2. 3-1, or hang on, is it 3-2 or 3-1 if we're ignoring the game where I just screwed up massively? One moment here, ladies and germs. Alright, so win-win. I derp. Yeah. Win-win, then I derp. Okay, so yeah. Brings us to 3-2. Respectable. Not the 5-0 I was hoping for, but we are working back up the ladder for our wins and videos, so hope you like this one. Hope you like the new layout. It looked a little nicer to me. Let me know what you think. Go ahead, give me a like or subscribe if you're feeling generous. I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I hope you guys all have an awesome weekend. I hope you are still feeling good from all that Thanksgiving food. See you guys on the other side.